In part 2, we broke down the exact tricks junk food companies use to manipulate your hunger and hijack your brain. We talked about how removing protein keeps you from feeling satisfied, how sugar spikes trigger repeated hunger, how the bliss point activates dopamine, and how chemical flavor explosions overwhelm your brain's reward system. But today, I want to take all of that science and make it real. I want to show you exactly what that addiction looks like in everyday life, through something many of us have experienced: the Doritos Effect. It's the perfect example of how engineered flavor can turn a simple snack into a compulsive, mindless habit. And once you understand the story, you'll see junk food in a completely different way. Let's dive in. What the Doritos Effect really is. Before we get into the experience, let's define the idea clearly. The Doritos Effect is what happens when flavor is engineered to be intense, designed to fade extremely quickly, so your brain keeps demanding another hit, leading to effortless, mindless overeating. It's not about Doritos specifically. It's about any junk food engineered this way. Chips, crackers, snacks, candies, cereals, most of them behave the same. But the Doritos example is powerful because so many people have lived it. A bag of Doritos isn't food. It's a carefully designed mechanism to keep you reaching in again and again until the bag is empty, even if you didn't plan to eat much at all. Let me explain how this works. The mindless eating trap. Almost everyone has done this. You're sitting on the couch, watching TV. Maybe you're scrolling through your phone. You open a bag of chips, just to have a few. Nothing serious. You start eating. You're not thinking about the food. You're not tasting deeply. You're not hungry. You're just eating. And then suddenly, you look down and realize the bag is almost finished. You barely remember eating it. That's the first sign of engineered addiction, mindless eating. The food bypasses your conscious mind. Your hand becomes automatic. Your mouth keeps moving. Your brain keeps saying more. You didn't decide to eat the whole bag. The bag decided for you. This is not a failure of discipline. It's a neurological loop triggered by engineered flavor. But the real magic, the real manipulation, comes from how the flavor behaves. The fast-fading flavor trick. Here's the part most people don't realize. The flavor of foods like Doritos is intentionally designed to fade quickly. The moment it hits your tongue, you get a rush of intense, layered flavors: spicy, cheesy, salty, tangy, umami, all at once. Your brain lights up. You get that initial hit of pleasure. But within seconds, that intense flavor disappears. It doesn't linger. It doesn't satisfy. It vanishes almost instantly. This is not a mistaken formulation. This is deliberate chemistry. Why? Because if the flavor lasted a long time, your brain would feel satisfied. You'd want fewer chips. You'd stop eating sooner. But companies don't want you satisfied. They want you stimulated. So they design the flavor to be strong enough to hook you, but fleeting enough that your brain demands another chip. One bite ignites the pleasure. The quick fade turns off the pleasure. The brain wants the pleasure back. You grab another chip. This cycle repeats over and over without you noticing. It's not hunger. It's not craving real food. It's the brain chasing stimulation. And this is exactly how compulsive eating begins. The neuroscience of repeated stimulation. Let's talk about what's happening in your brain. When that initial flavor hits, dopamine spikes. Not in a natural, balanced way, but in a way that real food can't compete with. But when the flavor fades quickly, dopamine drops even faster. Your brain doesn't like that drop. The human brain is wired to seek stability. A sudden drop feels unpleasant. It feels like something is missing, something you need to fix. And the easiest way to fix it? Another bite, another hit, another rush, another spike. This fast spike, fast fade cycle traps you in a loop. Stimulate, fade, repeat, repeat, repeat. Over time, it becomes a subconscious habit. Your brain learns that the way to avoid the low after a bite is to take another bite before the low hits. This becomes automatic. Before you know it, you're eating in a rhythm you didn't choose. Why real food starts to lose its appeal. Here's something even more important and more dangerous. After repeated exposure to engineered flavors, your taste buds and brain adapt. Real food starts to taste boring, ordinary, flat. A real strawberry becomes not sweet enough, A real tomato becomes not flavorful enough. A grilled chicken breast becomes bland. Vegetables become unappealing. Your taste perception is now calibrated for hyperstimulation. You're not craving real flavor. You're craving an artificial dopamine spike. And this is how people end up saying things like, I don't like healthy food. Vegetables taste boring. Fruit doesn't satisfy me. I can't stop eating chips. It's not the vegetables. It's not the fruit. It's not your preferences. It's the addiction. Your brain has been trained, conditioned, to prefer fake stimulation over real nourishment. That's the Doritos Effect. The real-life experience, a familiar story. Let me paint a very real picture. Imagine someone sits down with a bag of Doritos. They're not hungry. They just want a snack. They eat one chip. It's delicious. Layered. Crunchy. Salty. Cheesy. Addictive. They take a second chip. The flavor rush hits again, but slightly weaker. It fades quickly. They take a third. Then a fourth. Now they're not tasting anymore. They're chasing. Before they know it, their brain is running the show. Their hand goes back into the bag automatically. They don't even notice how fast they're eating. And 20 minutes later, the bag is empty. Not because they wanted to eat it all, but because the food was designed to make sure they did. That's the Doritos Effect. The perfect combination of engineered flavor, fast-fading taste, brain overstimulation, dopamine drop, mindless compulsive rhythm a cycle millions of people fall into without understanding what's happening. So, when people say they can't stop eating chips, they're not weak. They're caught in a chemical loop designed to override their biology. Oh, when you hear people say, I can't stop eating chips, or I always finish the whole bag, understand this. They're not exaggerating. They're not weak. They're not lacking willpower. They're caught in a chemical loop designed to override their biology. But now that you understand this mechanism, the Doritos Effect, you're no longer in the dark. You see exactly how the addiction is created, how it hooks you, and why breaking free feels so difficult. In part 5 of this series, we'll break down specific dangerous ingredients, starting with trans fats and their harmful effects. Stay tuned for part 4, where we delve into why trans fats are far more harmful than most people realize, especially when combined with other engineered food components.